reality check or not, there is some concern, or there should be some concern, with Seth Rollins being involved with John Cena and Sting's injuries.
I personally say this is not a reality. You know, I know people, I know Bret Hart made a comment about Seth Rollins when he injured John Cena, and I know Bret is known for having, you know, the impeccable record he did of never injuring somebody, et cetera, et cetera. But the difference also is, first off, the style that Bret worked versus the style that Seth Rollins works. And also, I don't want to compare dates because I know Bret Hart was a workhorse, but you know, Seth Rollins, let's just talk about Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins has worked more in the last year than anybody on that company. John Cena is the only one that can even rival him. Seth Rollins has carried that company in terms of the workload of dates. From what I've heard, it is something that has at least been in conversation, that it is a relevant point to some people that, hey, Rollins has been involved in these two significant injuries to two significant people. But I personally, I don't think it was reckless. I think the Cena thing, he called him. It's not ballet. It wasn't like he did anything reckless on the move. And then with the Sting thing, you can argue, but you know, when Sting, granted, Sting's not going to cause problems, but when Sting goes on WWE.com in an interview
and says it was his
and
fault.
says it was my fault, he just didn't do what he was trained to do in terms of how you land in the buckles, then it's really hard to point the iron fist at Seth Rollins.
And I see it like this. I mean, these guys work, 300 days a year, 250 days a year.
Seth wrestling 2 matches a night.
Exactly. You're going to get 1 or 2 injuries, whether it's with a guy like Ryback, who has been known to be aggressive in the ring, or a guy like Seth Rollins, who now is coming to light that maybe his style is a little more aggressive and a little more unsafe than people thought it was. I don't think this is a problem for Seth Rollins, Justin. I really don't. I think when you have Seth Rollins in the ring, his style is so different and unique that it might be hard for other people to understand or to know what's going to happen next. That's why guys like Daniel Bryan, guys like Dean Ambrose, these guys are more adept and more interested and more maybe familiar working with a guy like Seth Rollins' style, because it is so different.